And welcome to RTF Sports Talk. I am the host of the show, Michael Buckheiser. I'm joined, as always, with Billy Hatton. Billy, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing all right. Lovely morning to talk some sports on this Thursday. We almost in December, man.
Yeah, a couple more days, and that's when the fun starts. And we have a special guest on the line with us today by the name of Royal Ford. Royal, how are you doing today,
I'm
man?
doing pretty well. Thanks for having me early this morning, man.
Yeah, we kind of scrambled at the last second here to get a third person. Our third partner in crime, Matthew, got pulled into like a meeting, but we're here and we're ready to talk some NFL football, guys. Tonight, like we have the Saints versus the Cowboys here. The Cowboys are riding a 3-game win streak, as the Saints are 6 or 7 in a row now as well, if I'm not mistaken.
10.
10 in a row.
Oh, whatever. They'll lose. 10 in a row. The Saints are a 62% chance winning percentage here. So, Billy Hatton, what do you think is going to happen in tonight's game, and who do you have winning?
I think the Saints are going to win, as you alluded to, 10-game winning streak. The Cowboys, I don't think they have enough firepower on offense. In my estimation, that Saints defense is starting to play at the level that they were playing at last year. The Cowboys are on that 3-game winning streak, but that 3-game winning streak came with all 3 games with Ezekiel Elliott having over 120 yards rushing. When that doesn't happen, the Cowboys will lose the game. I think the Saints defense is going to be grimy tonight. I think they're going to be nasty tonight, and they're going to be all out to stop Ezekiel Elliott. And now it's going to be up to Dak Prescott, who's over this 3-game winning streak. He's only thrown 3 touchdowns. Obviously, no pick, so that helps out the case. But I don't think that's going to be the case tonight. I think he throws 1 pick. I think they bottle Ezekiel Elliott up. Drew Brees continue on what he's been on, 29 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He's actually my MVP this year. I know a lot of people picking Mahomes. I wouldn't get mad if Mahomes got it. I wouldn't be mad if Drew Brees got it. Just for me, I think Drew Brees is my MVP. Alvin Kamara, 11 rushing touchdowns on the year. Couple that with Mark Ingram and Michael Thomas. I think this offense is primed to keep on rolling. This was my Super Bowl pick. I'm going to stick with them. I think they win tonight.
Royal, who do you got?
I got the Saints all day on this one. I can't see how people can even give, the Cowboys a 48% chance of winning this game. If you look at their wins, they got a win over Philadelphia, which is the worst Super Bowl champion returning, to play. I haven't seen a team like that so dysfunctional right now. And then they got a win over the Falcons, which is anyone should beat the Falcons right now, how beat up their defense is. 22-19 in that game. And then you got a win over the Redskins, 31-23. Their quarterback's hurt. They got an aging running back in Adrian Peterson. Not saying that he's not really good, to be in the league, but I'm just saying the Cowboys, they should be better than what they are. And the teams they beat doesn't, add up to going to the Saints and going in at a 48% win ratio with them. I can't see it happening. So I give it to the Saints all day.
All right. Well, let me give you guys some real insights here. All right. This is a Thursday night game. This is a home game for the Dallas Cowboys. And historically, the home team has an advantage on these Thursday night games. But on the flip side of that coin, this is not a short week for either of these teams. Both these teams played last Thursday night, so they had a full week of practice, a full week of rest. And I'm going to have to go with the Cowboys on this one. I like what they're doing the last 3 games. They are going to feed Ezekiel Elliott the ball. They are going to keep the Saints offense off the field. They're just going to milk that clock. And the Cowboys defense is going to play a bend, don't break type of thing. They are going to let Brees.
Mike, I would agree with
dunk.
you. I would agree with you if we wasn't talking about Drew Brees here. Yeah, they're going to break tonight. That secondary is not a good secondary.
At all.
It is not a good secondary until their backs are up against the wall and they have to clamp somebody down. And I like the Cowboys to bend and not break. I mean, yes, they are going to probably give up, 21 to 28 points, but that's all they're going to give up. And I really feel like the Cowboys offense and like
So you're
Amari
telling me
Cooper
the 28
and
points won't be
Elliott.
enough? You telling me the Cowboys can score more than that?
I anticipate Ezekiel Elliott getting 3 touchdowns, and then Dak throwing for two more.
No, I don't see Ezekiel getting 3 touchdowns in that game, but I do see Dak probably showing up. I will say the Cowboys, they will win their division. I know that.
You know what? Speaking to that point, this may be the game that Dak Prescott plays really well. Ezekiel Elliott plays bad, but it just still won't be enough. This Saints team, Mike, is scoring the most points in the NFL. This is the best scoring offense in the entire NFL. The Cowboys are good on defense. They're not that good on defense. Because what the Saints can do is they have obviously a future Hall of Famer at quarterback. And they got a two-headed monster in the backfield of Alvin Kamara and Ingram. So they can control that pass rush. And once they start running the ball like the New Orleans Saints can, it's gonna be bad for that defense.
And like I definitely hear everything you are saying, but I think everything is playing into the Cowboys' favor right now. The Saints are they're bound to lose a game in their last 5 games here, and like looking forward at their schedule, I don't see them losing to the Bucks. I don't see them losing to the Panthers. They might struggle against the Steelers, but I don't see them losing against the Steelers. And then they play the Panthers again in a mop-up game. So I think this is their game to stumble, to show that how a team can beat them in the playoffs on their route to the Super Bowl. So like I really feel like this is their stumble game. They're kind of on cruise control, kind of looking forward to that Steelers game here on Christmas Eve.
I think they're. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
So you're saying the Saints are bound to lose this one just because it's one of those games, Thursday night football. All the pressure's on right now, and everyone's rooting for them to lose. But the Cowboys, everyone is rooting for them to win. They have so much pressure on them because of all the deals they have made and the people they have let go. And now they have Amari Cooper. That's the only person I can name, wide receiver wise when it comes to the Cowboys. And to me, he still isn't that, great of a player to change the whole dynamics of a season.
I just said
You're
that
right.
yesterday. We talked about the same thing yesterday on the show, and I said the same thing. I just don't think Amari Cooper he's good. He can be great at times, but there's a reason why the Raiders let him go.
Yeah.
Well, I think that his Thanksgiving game, he is going to continue that for 2, maybe 3 more weeks, and then he'll come back down to his normal Amari Cooper self.
I think he comes down this week, Mike. You watch both of those touchdowns he had last week. The DB failed, or he was just wide open.
Right.
I don't see that happening with this defense. This Saints defense over the last few weeks are starting to get really good.
Oh, yeah.
Marcus Lattimore, who I'm pretty sure is going to
right now.
He's going to. I guarantee you, he's going to shadow him all game. What you seen last week against the Redskins, not so good secondary, you're not going to see that tonight.
Oh no, the Saints are a disciplined team. They have that experience. The Cowboys are a young team who's still looking for their identity. We don't know if Dak Prescott gonna come out and play good. He gonna come out and play bad. We don't know if they gonna give Zeke the ball or Zeke, he's catching out the backfield, even though they should be handing the ball off to that man. We don't know what their defense is like. They're always talking about Sean Lee being missing in action. Isn't Sean Lee still hurt?
Yeah.
So, their captain of their defense is hurt as well. So, I mean.
Yeah, but you had that new guy,
the rookie?
Vander.
Yeah.
He won rookie of the month.
He is definitely stepping up.
So, he's stepping up. But against a Saints defense and a complex man like Drew Brees, I don't think he can hang in there with that guy. Hey, all the play calling, all the routes that he's changing at the line. Drew Brees is a dynamic quarterback, and he'll see some more defense and he'll mess that little rookie head up. So,
I definitely hear everything you guys are saying here, but Cowboys have more sense of an urgency to win this game, and so they can clinch their conference and etc.
I
The
get that.
Saints, like the Saints, pretty much have their division locked up, if not locked up, like all the way.
Yeah, but
So,
but they're trying to get something bigger, Mike. And what they're trying to get is they're trying to get first place because they know that the Los Angeles Rams is also at 10-1 or 11-1, whatever their record is. Yeah, 10-1. So they know how essential LA coming to play them in New Orleans is, rather than flying to LA and playing LA at home.
That is
so
true.
So yeah, I mean the Cowboys got urgency, but don't think the Saints don't see this opportunity as let's stay undefeated here because we own the tiebreaker.
Yeah, I definitely see that point, but I just really feel like they're more in a cruise control, and they're just going to nickel and dime, and if they win, awesome. If they don't, no hurt feelings.
Is this game being played in New Orleans, or is this game playing in Jerry's World?
It's in Dallas.
It's in Jerry's World?
Yeah.
It is in Jerry's World.
Okay. Yeah, all right. So
are you flipping your pick?
The Cowboys, I'm going to stay with my pick, but the Cowboys are 4-1 at home.
Right.
I will say that. They are 4-1 at home. And their only loss, I think, at home was to the Seahawks?
No, it was the Titans.
The Titans, okay. And the Titans
that Monday
were on
night
the road at that point. They were on the road.
Yeah, but to that point, Saints are 5-0 on the road as well.
So, it's
gonna be a good matchup.
Yeah,
it helps that the Cowboys are at home,
matchup.
and that's gonna help it. But I don't. There's no match for the Saints, Mike.
They can't put enough points to compete with the Saints.
Yeah,
it's not enough points for them.
I guess we will see at 10:30 Eastern time, two a night here, when that final tick runs off the clock here, and see what happens. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and move on here. Earlier this year, during this summer, we picked our division. What teams we thought were going to win their respected conferences and their divisions. Now with 5 weeks left in the season, it's starting to take more shape, but there's still some races that are still open out there. So we're going to re-pick our division champions here, and we're going to start with Bailey Hatton in the NFC East. We currently have the Dallas Cowboys leading that division by actually they're tied with the Washington with 6-5. I have a piece with Philly sitting there at 5-6, and the Giants still looking. They could possibly have a chance at a 3-8 record. Who do you have winning that division now?
Well, I had the New York Giants at the beginning of the year. I thought that they would be a lot better than what they are. I was expecting Eli to be able to throw the ball more than 10 yards down the field, but that didn't happen. Then they had a chance last week and lost a 19-point lead to Philly. They had a chance to get back in it. But I think the Cowboys now will win this division. I think they're going to lose tonight, but I think their remaining games down this stretch, they are primed to win, I believe it's 4 out of the 5 of those games. So I got the Cowboys win the NFC East.
Ro, how about yourself?
I'm going to go ahead and go with the Cowboys as well, because if I look at it, the Redskins, they don't have a quarterback. The Eagles, they're just a disaster right now. And the Giants, Eli Manning, he should just retire after this year, because I don't see him getting any better, and I don't see them getting any better with him. So definitely the Cowboys, they're locked for the NFC East.
So as a Cowboys fan, I have to stay with my pick this year and go with the Cowboys, but I also want you guys to watch out for the Eagles. They are in a prime spot to jump in that division really, really fast. They play the Washington Skins twice, and then and they also play the Cowboys at Georgia Tech as well in their next 5 games. So 3 of their last 5 games are division games, and they can very easily jump to that first place spot there. So let's go ahead and move on over to the NFC North here. You have the Chicago Bears currently in first place. My pick, with the 8-3 record, with the Vikings sitting there at a 6-4-1, and the Packers sitting at 4-6-1 as well. And Detroit, I guess they still have a shot at 4-7. So Billy, who do you have winning this division?
Mike, I'm gonna pass this one off to my brother here. He's a Chicago Bears fan. So one of the few actually real Chicago Bear fans that I know. So I'm gonna let him pick this first.
Hey, you know who I got winning the NFC North? The Chicago Bears. That defense, Matt Nagy's offense. I won't say Mitch Trubisky because we've been winning with our backup quarterback. Matt Nagy's offense. He has a system put in place that any quarterback that comes through and learn that system, they can thrive in. That defense is unbelievable. And Khalil Mack is one of those players that Oakland should have kept. But they said, no, we're going to ship him off. He doesn't make that much of a difference. One player can make a difference. One player can change the whole dynamic of a team, the whole thought process. And that's what he did for our defense. Our defense, they're aggressive. They get after it. You look at our DBs, they're even playing like star DBs. I think Kyle Fuller is like the 3rd-ranked DB in the league right now. I was so impressed by that stat. I was like, man. And then we got Amuka Mara on the other side, and he's like 10th ranked DB in the league right now. So our defense, everyone basically on our defense is ranked in like the top 10 in their position right now.
All right, Billy Hatton.
I kind of want to agree, but I'm not. I'm going to go to Minnesota Vikings. That was my pick at the beginning of the year. I'm going to stick with the Minnesota Vikings. They got a win last week against the Packers. I think they build upon this. That now their people are finally seeing why the Minnesota Vikings paid Kirk Cousins that money and let Case Keenum go, because he's an upgrade at quarterback. And everybody wanted to blame Kirk Cousins. You know, every time he threw an interception, this guy's only thrown, I want to say 5 or 6 interceptions on the year. You know, for me, this guy is being everything that they paid him for. The problem was at the beginning of the season was the defense was hurt. The defense wasn't playing up to snuff. People forget to realize that the Minnesota Vikings was the number 1 ranked defense in the NFL last year. This year, they've been in the bottom 3rd. That defense is starting to play like it. Now they're starting to win some games. I think the Bears will still be fine. I think they'll still get in as a wild card. But I think the Minnesota Vikings is going to win that division.
And I'm going to have to go with a different team here.
Don't do that, Mike.
You don't say Green Bay.
If you guys look at the Green Bay Packers schedule looking forward here, they have the Cardinals, Falcons, Bears, Jets, and Lions. That is possibly 5 wins there. But they
would need all of them, Mike. They would need all of them.
And listen here. Like, I'm not changing my pick yet, but I'm just giving Green Bay Packers a fighting chance. If they do win those 5 games, that gives them nine wins on the season. And so that basically means that the Chicago Bears have to lose their 5 remaining games.
We have the New York Giants next, which is a win.
Yeah.
Eli's going to retire.
Whoa. At New York,
Eli's going to retire.
Mitchell Trubisky, is like he fully back yet?
I don't think so. Not yet. I think they're still thinking about putting the backup in, but.
Do you think Chase Daniels can repeat a performance that he did last week on the Lions?
It's the system. It's Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy's our quarterback. He just got to go out there and throw the ball.
Well, but like I don't see them beating the Rams. I do have the Packers beating the Bears, and then they do have the 49ers and the Vikings to finish out the year. So I'm going to have to stick with my pick earlier this year and stay on the Bears because the Bears they basically need 2 wins to lock up that division, I think, and they do play the Packers and Vikings in that division woes there, and I believe they have all the tiebreakers if I'm not mistaken, as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna have to stay with the Bears. The Bears.
The Bears.
All right, guys. So let's go ahead and move on to the AFC North here. Sorry, my computer just froze on me. You stupid. So currently you have Pittsburgh in first place at 7-3-1. You have Baltimore at 6-5, Cincinnati at 5-6, and Cleveland really hanging in there as well as a 4-6-1 record. Billy, since this is your division, your team, who do you got winning this division?
For me, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are still going to win this division. That's my picks at the beginning of the year. That was my thought, assuming Le'Veon was going to be there. They're still in the league. I don't think since Baltimore has now went to Lamar Jackson, I don't think they're at the point of no return. They cannot go back now, and people are going to start to see the flaws coming down the stretch that Lamar Jackson has. You already seen him on Sunday. You know, it seemed like he's lollipopping the ball out there, like he's pushing the ball, hoping that he can, it's like you're playing cornhole or something like that. You can't do that in the NFL. And teams are going to see that. Teams are going to start blitzing him. And then we're going to see the real Lamar Jackson. So the Ravens have no shot, even though they're right there. Cincinnati, I think, without Andy Dalton and A.J. Green, that's done. And the Browns, I think, kind of lost some ones in the beginning that they shouldn't have lost, or else we would be right in prime position right now with the division lead at hand. But, we missed the kick in Pittsburgh to beat them, missed the extra point against the Saints. And then a few bad calls in Oakland. And we're 7-3, 7-4, right in the thick of things right now. But yeah, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers win this division.
Royal.
Pittsburgh definitely wins this division. I like Lamar Jackson. Don't get me wrong. I just feel like he's a little too young. He still likes to run a lot, And then I don't know if it's if they're allowing him to run as much as he's running, or if they're just like, hey man, if nothing's open, just throw the ball, just throw the ball away or whatnot. But yeah, he's running too much for me. I don't see him lasting more than 3 years in the league the way he runs. So, Pittsburgh definitely. They don't need Le'Veon Bell to win this division at all. I feel like they're just fine with the players they have. So, and Mike Tomlin, he's a good coach. Big Ben, he's a decent quarterback now. He used to be good. And then they got the weapons over there in Pittsburgh, man. They got too many weapons. So, as far as receiver weapons, even Connor, he's still a good back too. So, Pittsburgh all day.
So I definitely see why you guys are picking the State Steelers right now. They are 7-3-1, but if you look at their remaining schedule here, they play San Diego at home, and then they're at Oakland, Patriots, at Saints, and then finish up the season with Cincinnati at home. Big Ben is horrible on the road this season. I believe he has 9 touchdowns to 10 interceptions on the road, and you saw how that affects him when they lost to the Broncos last week here.
Right.
And with him calling out the players like me and Billy talked about on Unpopular Opinion yesterday, I kind of wonder how that locker room is supporting the quarterback right now. So as I feel the Steelers will win this division, like I really feel like it is going to be an ugly last 5 games for them. I could easily see them losing 4 games in a row and then playing a must-win game week 17 versus Cincinnati. And then they beat them, like, obviously. But really, like looking at everybody's upcoming schedules here, they have a tough road. Cincinnati is playing the Denver Broncos, at Chargers, Oakland, at the Browns, and at the Steelers. So, like, I really feel like it is a two-man race between Cincinnati and Pittsburgh at this point. I don't have faith in Lamar Jackson. And
So you're telling
Baltimore
me Jeff Driscoll?
Ravens.
Jeff Driscoll, you have faith in Jeff Driscoll without AJ Green?
I'm saying it is going to be who is the least ugliest will like win this division, and I feel the Steelers will pull it out.
Me personally,
but
go ahead, Mike.
Yeah,
no, me
go
personally, I don't want the Bengals to waste a playoff spot. That's me personally. They never get out. So I don't. Want
Marvin Lewis 0-4 every time he gets to the playoffs.
Yeah, don't waste my spot, man. Let me see some good football.
Here is the real question of the day. How does Marvin Lewis still have a job in Cincinnati?
He's cheap, they say. They said
he said he's cheap. Hey, I don't know, man. If you, I watch a lot of Stephen A. Smith, and Stephen A. Smith is crazy about how Marvin Jackson still has a job. I don't really understand it. I guess he's like the Jason Garrett for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, he's just been there for so long. I guess it's hard to change. Maybe
I guess, and then they brought Hugh Jackson back.
Yeah. I give it 2 more years, he won't have a job if they don't.
So, Billy, as a Cleveland fan, looking at their schedule moving forward here, they're at the Texans, Panthers, at Broncos, Bengals, and they finish up the season at Baltimore. Do you see them making any type of push, considering you've seen their last 2 games of like how they performed?
Yeah, I think they can be really good. I think playing Cam Newton on the road. I mean, well, at home with Cam Newton being on the road, I think that's going to be a tough game for that team. They're going to have to run the ball. It's going to be cold. So the Baltimore Ravens, I think my quarterback is better than their quarterback. And then the Broncos also, I think my quarterback is better than their quarterback. The defense is kind of comparable, and I would still take my defense over the Broncos defense. So, I think they're going to make a push. I just think right now, looking at the Steelers' schedule, I think they have some very winnable games on that schedule, and they'll take advantage of it.
So let me kind of amend what I just said here. Now, looking at the Browns' schedule, I can very well see them winning their last four games. The versus the Panthers, Broncos, Bengals, and Ravens, with their only loss coming to Houston. That puts them at an 8 win mark on the season, and then you have Pittsburgh sitting at 7-3 right now, and like I have them really only winning 1 game to finish out the year. So this tie, back in week 1, is going to really come back and hurt the Cleveland Browns in the end.
Yeah, that's true. But the Browns, they get 8 wins on the season. That's like winning the Super Bowl for them. So
hey, that's all right, because next year we're going to be good. Next year we're going to get our guy. We don't even care about the head coach. Hire whoever you want at head coach. Give Baker a offensive coordinator that will be willing to allow him to play free and play like he's playing in the backyard. Big 12 football. Spread me out wide. Give me a bunch of weapons. Give me some little fast guys. Give me a big receiver. Maybe give me a tight end. Give me a little scat back, and we're going to spread it out. And because I think this year is the year that you go get another wide receiver maybe. Or maybe an offensive lineman. But next year you got to, yeah.
What is this thing I heard about Condoleezza Rice being y'all interview with Condoleezza Rice to be a head coach for y'all, man?
No, that's not going to happen. Condoleezza Rice needs to stay where she's at doing whatever it is that she do.
What she do about football?
Lead us to the real professionals.
So So I guess the real question is if and when the Browns make the playoffs this season, do we rub it in Matthew Lyle's face since we both said the Browns are going to be a playoff team this year?
Yeah, I mean, because Matthew was really trying to make it seem like this Browns team was sorry, and I don't think he was actually taking a look at the talent that this team actually had, and then the schedule that it was playing. That's what I also picked it off of based on the schedule. And like I said, right now we're 4-6-1, and we could have 7 wins right now if we, we would have 6 wins right now if we just kick 2 field goals. That's it.
Right.
So,
well, I mean, I am going to be the biggest Cleveland Browns fan for the next 5 weeks, but Billy.
That's what I'm talking about, Mike.
And quite frankly, I just don't like the Steelers.
Me neither.
I kind of hope kind of hope they see their way out here. So let's go ahead and move on over to the AFC South here. You have Houston currently leading that division at 8-3. The Colts making a strong push at 6-5. Tennessee at 5-6, and then Jacksonville bringing up the trash bucket here at 3-8. So Royal, we'll start with you on this one, man. Who do you have winning this division?
Them Texans are on fire. On fire. I like the way they're playing. I love Deshaun Watson. But then again, we got the Colts coming in right behind them, at 6-5. Then they're on a 5-game win streak. And Andrew Luck, he's starting to look like Andrew Luck from the past. And T.Y. Hilton, that man is out there flaming every DB that gets on him. So I'm gonna pick the Colts because I feel like the Texans are a disaster waiting to happen as well. So I'm gonna pick the Colts.
No, that's bold. That's a bold pick.
We're on a 5-game win streak with them. 5-game win streak.
That's a bold pick.
Like Lucky Luck.
That's a bold pick because right now they're 6-5. They got the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think they go to 7-5 right there. The Texans got my Browns. That's not going to be an easy game. Although it's going to be in Houston, that's not going to be an easy game because Baker is also hot right now. So, then after that, the Colts play the Texans. I think the Colts is going to win that game.
Yes.
They're going to be fighting to get back into the playoff race. And especially if Houston loses on Sunday to Cleveland. So, and then they got the Giants at home.
Easy.
That's easy. And then they face the last game of the season at Tennessee. I think they're going to win that game as well. I'm also going to go the Indianapolis Colts. I think Houston's going to slip and falter a little bit during that stretch. Give me an Andrew Luck who's playing hot right now.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to go with the Colts as well. The Houston Texans, they are 1 injury away from pissing away the season.
Yes.
It could be their quarterback. It could be
a receiver.
A receiver. It could be J.J. Watt again. That's historically getting hurt every year, just like Sean Lee. Their starters are so good, but their backups are so bad. So they are legitimately 1 injury away from pissing away the season. So that's why I got to go with the Colts on this one. And Andrew Luck throwing 3+ touchdowns in 8 straight games. The first time that's been done since Peyton Manning as a Colt. So give me the Colts on this one.
Oh, yeah.
So let's go ahead and move over to the most intriguing conference that I think is happening, the AFC West. You currently do have the Kansas City Chiefs leading that division at 9-2. The Chargers are right behind them at 8-3. You have Denver at 5-6, and Oakland bringing up the trash dunket again at 2-9. So, Billy, who do you have winning this division?
Mike, I'm gonna let you go first because this is your real team. You kind of talk about the Cowboys, but you're a real AFC West guy. So, who you think wins it?
Well, looking at the schedule, the Kansas City Chiefs have Oakland on the road. Then they have Baltimore at home, San Diego at home, and they're at Seahawks and versus Oakland again. I can very easily see the Chiefs going 4-1, possibly 3-2. Those 2 losses coming to the Chargers at home, and the Seahawks. Seahawks are always strong at home, and that is a Sunday night game as well. Historically, the Chargers play well at Arrowhead. I don't know why, but I believe that the Chargers have the best record at Arrowhead from any other team. I believe they're the only team that has a winning record at Arrowhead. Then looking at the Chargers schedule here, they kind of have I want to say a semi-tough road here. They are at Steelers this week. They have Cincinnati at home. Then they travel to Arrowhead, Baltimore, and then at Denver. So they could very easily go 3-2, if not 4-1 as well. Their two losses being at Steelers and then at Denver, but I really don't see that one happening. So with that being said, I'm going to have to go with everything that I love, everything that makes my heart beat. I see the Chargers sneaking out of this division as division champions.
Cool. Against your Kansas City Chiefs, so you don't think your Chiefs? So you don't think your Chiefs wins that division?
I think it is going to come down to that Christmas Eve game when the Chargers come to Arrowhead. That is a primetime game. So Arrowhead's going to be rocking and shaking. But like I said, the Chargers historically play well at Arrowhead. I don't know why. It is a warm climate team coming to a cold environment. So I'm going against everything that I know there. And
this is what I think, Mike. I think the Chargers is going to slip a little bit. You know, the Chargers was my team at the beginning of the year that was going to win this division. And so far, to me, I think they're probably one of the best teams in the league. Just for me, Melvin Gordon being hurt last week.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah. They're gonna slip a little bit now. You know, Phillip Rivers is good. Phillip Rivers has done it before without a running back. He has some really good receivers. The Williams boys, and then Keenan Allen. I get that. Antonio Gates. But they're not going to be able to control the clock. And next week, or on Sunday, I shall say, they go to Pittsburgh, a Pittsburgh team who is just coming off a loss, a team who's trying to fight to get back there. Without Melvin Gordon going to Heinz Field, that's going to be tough. So I think they start to slip. That's their game there. I think they also is going to lose that game that you think they're going to win on the road. I think Kansas City gets it done, outdo them. That may be Melvin Gordon's first game back because he could miss 3 weeks. They said for sure 2 weeks, but their third game is on a short week. It's on a Thursday, so I don't foresee him coming back on a short week. So that Kansas City game could be his first game back, or he could miss it. I don't see it happening. I got the Chiefs.
I just want to see Andy Reid win. That's what I want to see. I felt so bad when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, and after he was the head coach for like 12 years or something like that. He was the head coach for a long time. And
took him to a few NFC championships. Super Bowl, yeah.
Yeah, he didn't get the Super Bowl. I just want to see Andy Reid win. I'm hoping the Chiefs do great. I like that they took a chance on that boy Patrick Mahomes. I like that they sent Alex Smith ass packing. I like all that, you know. I just want to see Andy Reid win. So I'm rooting for the Chiefs. I'm gonna keep the Chiefs in the lock of the AFC West. I got the Chiefs on this one, man.
So do you guys mind if I amend my pick here? Because I forgot that Melvin Gordon was hurt for those 2 weeks. So I feel like that Steelers loss will pretty much knock them out of contention there. So I got to go with my boys, Kansas City Chiefs. I can't believe I picked against them. I've been picking against them, like, you know, first three or four games of the year, and it's come back to bite me in the butt. So give me Kansas City Chiefs. Give me the Chiefs.
There you go.
Come on, man. What am I thinking? All right, here. So let's move over to the amateur ranks here. The college football rankings came out Tuesday night here, and as of no surprise, you had Alabama at number 1, Billy, Clemson number 2, Notre Dame number 3, and kind of the surprise slide in there, you had Georgia at number 4. I know we spoke about this a few days ago on like Unpopular Opinion. I've been talking about it on Just for Clicks as well. But let's give the RTF audience thoughts of what you think the college playoff is taking here by sliding Georgia into number 4. And what is your rankings of like the top 6?
Yeah, I think the rankings that I thought that they were going to go with, I thought they were going to put Bama at 1, like they did, Clemson at 2, Notre Dame at 3. I thought they would slide Oklahoma in at number 4. That's kind of like a lock, because they're already thinking Bama would beat Georgia, but they were going to leave Georgia at number 5 because they still have a play date with Alabama. So that was going to be decided. Alabama or Georgia gets in. The winner obviously is going to get in. The loser, maybe depending on who it is, may not get in. But I think the rankings is right. I think the way that they got it is okay for me because either way, if Bama beats Georgia, Georgia's out, and Oklahoma beats Texas, Oklahoma just slides right to the 4th spot anyways because I don't see Ohio State jumping to Oklahoma in the caliber opponent Northwestern is compared to Texas. And then, I think the committee also is going to take in the losses that these teams had. 29-point loss to Purdue, struggled at Maryland, struggled at Michigan State, struggled at Nebraska. I think Ohio State waited too late to show who they were, up and down all season, and I think that's going to cost them.
Yeah, and I really wish Matthew Lyle was on here today because he is a big SEC fan, and he's been kind of saying this from the very start. The committee wants 2 SEC teams in there. They want to find a way to keep out the Big 12 or the Big 10, the Pac-12. They basically want an all SEC final in the end. Like if they could, they would slide LSU and our Kentucky Wildcats in there somehow, some way, if they possibly could.
Well, they did that with Florida, Mike. They got all of the. I think they got 4 SEC teams in the top 10. That Florida team is a good football team, but in no way do I think that this team is the 10th best team in the country. Or the 9th best team in the country. This LSU team that lost to the Texas A&M team, who kind of been iffy all year. I think they are a pretty good team, but they play like it. The record doesn't say so. And LSU lost, and I get it. They were on the road, but you're telling me that this LSU team is the 10th best team in the country. I just don't see that, and that's my problem with the committee. They don't reward losing. I get it, the eye test as well, but if that's the case, then just do away with the rankings. I said this the other day when we were in the group chat. Just do away with the rankings and then, say, well, these are the 4 best teams. Because when you start to put rankings on stuff and you see teams that got 3 losses in the top 10, I just don't, who's been losing as of recent. It's not like they lost earlier in the year. Like these are the last 3 or 4 weeks and they've been losing and they're still in the top 10. Just do away with the rankings and say these are our 4 best teams, kind of like what the NFL do. They don't put a ranking on it. You win, you're in. These are our 4 best, and just do away with the rankings. It really doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I've been thinking about this since like you and me spoke on it on Wednesday. I spoke on it on Tuesday before the rankings came out here, and by them sliding Georgia into that number 4 spot, that is the only way they can justify a Georgia loss and a Oklahoma small win and a Ohio State small win by keeping Georgia in the playoff,
or even a Bama loss, because you think
yeah,
then they could
exactly.
say, oh, they were 4 instead of 5.
Yeah. So I mean, like that is their way of saying the SEC is better than everybody else. So on Just for Clicks, I kind of proposed a idea of a 8 team playoff, because if you look back at the last 4 or 5 years, you've kind of always had this tangled mess at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and then usually that 9th and 10th team fall way off. So if we were to just expand the playoff to 8 teams, this would solve a lot of the controversy, because if you look at the top eight teams here, you have Alabama, Clemson, Notre Dame, Georgia, Oklahoma, Ohio State, Michigan, and a Central Florida team. And then you have Florida. We both agree Florida has no business being in the playoff whatsoever, or LSU or Washington, right? So if we just expand it to eight teams, the NCAA makes more cash. Everybody's more happier because we get to watch, two more great games. You have to get to see an actual champion, because, to be honest, if you look at this, there could very easily be a 5, 6, or 7 team be the national champion, just because how the games work and etc. And it also gives Central Florida a chance to play with the adults per se, and we actually get to see what they're actually made of at the end of the day. So, Billy, let's say Georgia, Oklahoma, and Ohio State all lose their conference championship games, and they lose them badly. Who do you see jumping into that number 4 spot to play Alabama?
You kind of skipped out a little bit. If who loses?
If Georgia, Oklahoma, and Ohio State all lose, and they lose badly on Saturday, who do you see jumping into that fourth spot?
I think Michigan gets to that 4 spot. If Georgia, Oklahoma, and Ohio State all lose, and it looks pretty handily, I think Michigan will slide in there, because I think the committee will forgive a bad loss. You can tell by where they dropped them to. They dropped them 7. They
outside looking at
exactly outside looking right in. Georgia won on Saturday, Oklahoma won on Saturday, Ohio State won on Saturday, so they had to move them up. Obviously, Ohio State beat Michigan; they had to move them up. But so did UCF win, and they dropped them right in front of UCF, just in case, because they know none of these games this week is going to be easy. Me and you both
Correct.
probably agree that Georgia is going to lose. Oklahoma could lose. Texas could beat them again. This is a very good Texas team, and Northwestern
Correct.
has played tough all season. So they set this up knowing that if we get a 3-team loss right here, because we think our first 3 are solid, if we can get 4, 5, and 6 to lose, we need to put somebody right there. That'd be good enough. And UCF is just not that, especially with the quarterback hurt.
Yeah, and I was trying to make a case for Central Florida here, like a tad bit on the Just for Clicks podcast here, but thinking about it now, the Wolverines are the next best choice, because look at who they've lost to. They lost to a number 6 Ohio State team, and then a number 3 ranked Notre Dame team. So those 2 losses may have not been fairly, they were pretty lopsided, but they are the top 10 teams in the college football playoffs. So Michigan, if those 3 teams lose, would be a next best choice, I think, to jump into that number 4 spot.
Definitely agree.
So let's just play the scenario out. Say Michigan does jump into that 4 spot and they play Alabama, do they have a shot?
They only have a shot if Shea Patterson can push the ball down the field. I think he's good enough with his legs, and we've seen the quarterbacks that have beaten a Nick Saban team, because not many SEC teams, do this. That spread type. Most SEC teams we want to run the football, want to play defense. So if Shea Patterson can push the ball down the field, I think they will have a chance, because I think Michigan defense is good as well. But without that, realistically, I still think Alabama is better than Michigan.
So you have Alabama beating them. So what about the Clemson and Irish game? Who do you have winning that one?
I got Clemson winning that one. Trevor Lawrence is a beast. Travis Etienne, the running back. Then they have, Wilkins and all of these got these three defensive linemen, or all 4 is probably going to be first round picks this year. That's insane, man. Dabo Swinney. There was supposedly, now it's going to be a little controversial, because there were rumors that Dabo Swinney was upset or talking about leaving or something like that, but he has denied those rumors, saying he's there because people were mad that they didn't beat South Carolina as bad as they should. Rivalry thing. But right. I think Dabo Swinney, I think Brent Venables, the defensive coordinator, I think these guys are masterminds. I wish they were coaching my team. I think Clemson, Clemson beat Notre Dame, I think, by a few scores.
So then you have Alabama, Clemson in that championship game. Do you see Clemson beating Alabama?
I do. I think Alabama is beatable if the right team plays them. And I think the right team will play them, because Trevor Lawrence can also move the pocket with his feet. He can scramble. And this guy got a cannon of arm. If you haven't watched Trevor Lawrence play, this kid can sling it. I always say I wasn't mad. I was mad when they, took the spot from Kelly Bryant. Not because I didn't think Trevor Lawrence was better, because I did. I knew Trevor Lawrence was better, but I just thought he didn't do anything to lose it. But this kid, Trevor Lawrence, he's a gamer. He is a gamer. He probably would have been starting at the start of the season if it wasn't under the same circumstances of Kelly Bryant being there. But I think at the end, Alabama pulls away with it. I think Tua is more experienced. He played in this game last year as a freshman, where this will be Trevor Lawrence's first year. I think the nerves will probably get to him. Nick Saban's team is experienced in their discipline. They don't make many mistakes. So, I will go that matchup. Alabama.
All right, guys. All right, guys. So I think we're getting a little tight on time here as far as the recording goes. So usually we finish the show with a rant of the day. Today's show was Matthew Lyle's rant, but he is not here. So I feel it's my turn to do a little rant here. So living in southern Indiana here are the Louisville Cardinals fired their coach, Bobby Petrino, about a month ago. Jeff Brom, the Purdue head coach, was quote unquote the front runner of this job. Last night he said, "You know what? I'm staying in Purdue. I like what I'm like. I like the things that I have here, and Louisville is just not for me at the current time." You would have thought this town had his heart ripped out, stabbed multiple times, put back in, ripped out again, and tore apart. Like, there was new conferences on our TV. This town is literally being burnt down because Jeff Brom told Louisville no. So this is where my rant is going to start. So Jeff Brom is a local high school alumni. He went to a high school called Trinity High School. Earlier this morning, there were bomb threats sent to that school because Jeff Brom told Louisville Cardinals no. What is wrong with you people? Why are you sending bomb threats to a local high school, a Catholic high school, because somebody does not want to coach a college team? The only affiliation that the school has is they are in the quote unquote in the same city, and Jeff Brom went there. Jeff Brom's brothers went there, uncles and dads. So they have a long history at Trinity High School. So why are you people sending bomb threats to a Catholic high school because somebody did not want to come quote unquote home to coach a horrible Louisville Cardinal team? Get over yourselves. Louisville sucks. They're going to suck for like a while. And Jeff Brom is doing great things in Purdue. As we've talked about it, they beat Ohio State. And this next year, they are going to be a 8 or 9 win season team. So stop with all the bomb threats. Stop with the cities being burnt down. Oh, our team sucks. We're horrible. Yes, you guys are horrible. But Jeff Brom wasn't your savior. He's happy in Purdue. Let him live a happy life.
Words.
What?
I hear you, Mike. That sounds like a upset Kentucky guy.
Well, no. Like,
and I know you're a Kansas State fan.
Yeah, I mean, just Louisville. Like, literally, when Jeff Brom told them no, every media outlet was posting like, "Oh, Brom is not coming home," and like you thought, like our president died. Like it was that bad. But regardless, thanks for joining us, guys. RTF Sports Talk. We'll be back here tomorrow. It'll be just Billy and Matthew tomorrow. I am heading back home to Kansas, so I'll be sure to check in on the show. But be sure to turn in tomorrow, guys. Billy, any last words?
No, guys, just make sure you guys tune in tomorrow to the Unpopular Opinion podcast as well, right after RTF Sports Talk. See you guys tomorrow.
We out.